Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Angie Kissler. I am the Director of Nursing here at Sierra Tucson, and I'm also the Director of the Inpatient Services. A little background about myself. I was born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri. I went to the University of Kansas and got my Bachelor's of Science degree in nursing. In 2015, I moved to Tucson, Arizona, and I have been at Sierra Tucson this time around for about a year and a half. While here in Tucson, I went to Grand Canyon University and got my master's degree in psychology. Today, we're going to be talking about finding gratitude and staying positive during the holiday season. I know this is a weird year, and the holidays are going to be a little bit different. I am going to turn off my camera for now and stay focused on the slides, and I will return when we have questions. So, finding gratitude and staying positive in the holiday season. Think about this quote for a minute. Show me your habits and I'll show you your future. A great friend of mine brought this quote to my attention. She said, I saw this quote and I thought about your webinar that you did recently. And I love this quote because if you think about it, if you do change your habits, you can change your future. Staying positive will help. It helps your day, it helps your attitude, and it can help with your leadership. One thing I want you to think throughout this webinar is think of the quote, feed the positivity and starve the negativity. That's going to be our focus on this whole webinar. So in order to feed the positivity and starve the negativity, you need to change the way you think. There's negative self-talk that we often do with each other. And what I want you to do is put a positive spin on that negative self-talk. So for example, number one, I've never done this before. Instead of thinking I've never done this before, I want you to put a positive spin on that and think I get to learn something new today. Or this is just too complicated. Instead of being negative, put a positive spin and say I can tackle it from a different angle. Number three, there's not enough time. A positive spin on that would be I need to reevaluate my priorities. Number four, there's no way it will work, which I am guilty of thinking of this sometimes. Putting a positive spin on that would be I can try and make it work, or I can figure out a way to make it work. There is a connection between your thoughts and your emotions. So what consumes your mind really does control your life. So stop and think about this. What does consume my mind? Is it negative thoughts, or do you more often have positive thoughts? Your mood are created by your cognitions and your thoughts. What is cognition? That refers to the way you look at things, your perceptions, your attitudes, and your beliefs. It's the way you feel the way you do because of the thoughts you're thinking at that very moment. So once again, are you thinking of more negative thoughts or more positive thoughts? Understanding positive thinking and self-talk. Do your thoughts often drift off to the negative, or do you focus on the positive? You have an endless stream of thoughts that run through your head every single day. Obviously, they're either negative or positive. This is called self-talk, and it usually comes from logic and reason. However, some may arise from misconceptions that you create because of lack of information. So negative thoughts lead to a pessimistic outlook on life, while positive thoughts lead to an optimistic outlook. Here are some common forms of negative or irrational talk. Filtering, that's magnifying the negative aspects of any situation and ignoring all the positive. So for example, if you did really bad on one test, and filtering, you might immediately go to, oh, because I did bad on this test, I'm going to do bad on all tests. Personalizing, that's whenever something goes bad and you blame yourself for it. So you're blaming yourself most likely for situations that you really had no control over. Say you had family in town visiting, and you took them everywhere, showed them all the sights of the city, and they just didn't really have a good time. Well, that's not really your fault. You did what you could, and it just didn't satisfy them. Catastrophizing. You're automatically anticipating the worst of a situation. So you instantly jump to the conclusion, the worst possible conclusion of the scenario. Polarizing is you see everything in black and white. For example, you did a speech and you fumbled on a word or two. After the speech was done, you immediately think that it was a complete failure. However, because you fumbled up one area does not mean the whole speech was bad. So try and stay positive. Here's a way to learn some positive thinking. Stop and think about what is exactly that you're thinking about. Are your thoughts focusing on the positive, or, like I said, do they drift off to the negative? You need to weed out the misconceptions and the irrational thinking by challenging these thoughts with rational, positive thoughts. Keep this in mind. Do not say anything to yourself that you wouldn't say to anyone else. There is something I always remind myself of. It's something that a great friend of mine said to me one time. Your life is generally moving towards your strongest thought. So think about that. Your life is generally moving towards your strongest thought. So if you're thinking positive, your life is usually moving in a positive direction. Like I said, remember, always feeding the positivity and starving the negativity. Stress is the body's response to events in your life. Having a positive mental attitude will help you handle stress in a healthy way. So follow these steps to manage your stress. Admit to yourself the feelings that you have. So if you're feeling stressful, it's okay to admit that you're stressed. Try and identify the source of that stress. Remove it if possible, which we know that's not always possible. And change your response to the stress. So if you can't remove it, then try and change your response to it. A great example of this is recently all the politics or social media. So if you're strolling through social media and you're starting to get stressed out, just remove it. Step away from it. Close it out. Unplug from it for a while. Or limit yourself to either the news or social media for like 30 minutes instead of staying on it for hours. And like I said, if you can't remove it, then you just need to change your response to that stress. Reduce the negative effects of stress. So you want to learn how to do some relaxation techniques. Simply do something that you enjoy doing. If you enjoy reading or listening to music, do that. Try and exercise on a regular basis. Eat a healthy diet and get plenty of rest. How to counter negative thoughts. So I love the picture on here. The same old thinking leads to the same old results. It becomes a vicious cycle, doesn't it? You want to talk back to that internal critic. Train yourself to recognize and write down the self-critical thoughts as they go through your mind and learn why these thoughts are distorted. So this is a really good example. Try to keep a journal and write down what was negative throughout your day. And then really focus on what was so negative about those things and what you could have done to make them more positive. Use mental biofeedback. Monitor your negative thoughts with a risk counter or just tally up. So every time you have a negative thought, just make a tally. And at the end of the day, tally up your score in a journal. I promise if you do this on a regular basis, you will start to realize that you are thinking more positive because you're focusing on staying positive and trying to ignore that negativity. Remember to keep your perspective. So things aren't always as bad as they seem at first. I know sometimes they seem horrible, but if you stop and think about it, just calm down. Stay rational, don't panic. It'll get the best of you. How to counter negative thoughts. This is a great little technique. It's called the triple column. So if you have a negative thought, stop and ask yourself these questions. What thoughts are going through my mind right now? What am I actually saying to myself? And why is this so upsetting to me? The example below, an automatic thought, I never do anything right. This is overgeneralization. A rational response to this is that's ridiculous. I do a lot of things right. This is really an excellent way to get a handle on and control your thoughts. So as I have said throughout this little webinar, you want to feed the positivity and starve the negativity. Start completing random acts of kindness. A great example is if you're in a drive-thru, say you're at Starbucks, buy the car behind you their drink. I promise you will make that person's day, and it's a very humbling experience. Me and my husband adopted a family for Thanksgiving, and taking that food to that family who was so, they were just beside themselves when we handed them that food. And I'm telling you, it's the most humbling experience. So if you get the chance to do that, do it. Take a moment to reflect on all of your gratitude for the day in a journal. Keep a journal of everything that you have to be happy about. As I said earlier, limit your intake of news, social media, etc. Set a time limit. Say you're going to only do it for 20 or 30 minutes a day. Video chat with a family member or a friend that always makes you laugh. When I leave work, every single day I call my mom. She helps me relieve my stress from the day. We laugh, we talk. It's just great. Smile. Simply smiling. Smiling at someone else. I understand that we're all wearing a mask right now, so smile with your eyes. But smile, say hi, reach out to people. Meditate. If you meditate, it's a great way to reduce your stress. One way that I do it is I do yoga every morning. It just starts my day fresh and relaxed, and it just sets my mind for a great attitude. You want to give your mind time to breathe and rest. So if going for a walk will help you de-stress, do that. Read a good book. Read one of your favorite books. Pay it forward, as I said. Now, I know that this year has been very stressful, very odd, strange for everyone, and our holidays are going to be the same way. So I have put together 6 tips to integrate into this holiday season, and hopefully these will help you out. Number 1, take some calm down breaks. So quieting down your mind before you start your day, like I said, can help you off to a great start and set a goal for the day. Set a goal that today is going to be good, and I'm going to try and remain stress-free, and I'm going to stay positive. Put on those rose-colored glasses. Sometimes this is much easier said than done, but rather than viewing every situation with annoyance, be grateful for everything. Try and find the good in what's happening. Get up and get moving. Remember, doing any type of physical activity pumps up the production of your endorphins, and those are your feel-good neurotransmitters. They really do help. Getting up, taking a small walk. If you're stressed out in your office, get out and take a little walk. It'll reset your mind. Watch your diet. I know that's going to be hard. It's the holidays and there's always good food, but just attempt to eat a healthy diet or watch your calorie intake. Number 5, prepare nice to do for me and need to do for me lists. So this is something that I'm doing for myself. Make a list of all the tasks that you need to do. And then this will help you realize what is actually doable and that you can get done and what you might be able to get done at a different time. Be realistic. Alternate between both lists. So if you're doing what you need to do for you and then what you need to do for others, if you alternate between the two, you're going to be taking care of yourself as well. Be generous this season. And I don't necessarily mean monetarily. Just stay calm, be cheerful. Here's some great examples. Smile at others. Like I said, I know we're wearing masks, but smile with your eyes and reach out and just say hi. Sometimes just saying hi to someone will cheer them up. Offer to run an errand for a friend or a loved one. If they seem stressed out and they're overwhelmed, ask if you can help them down. Write a short note to a friend or a loved one. Just leaving a little note for someone on their desk or on their computer screen saying hi, it'll really change their attitude and it'll make you feel good. It's a humbling experience. Serving others is amazing. And get creative. People will appreciate your heartfelt sentiments. It is contagious. Like I said, this holiday season is going to be completely different. This is going to be the infection control officer coming out in me, but I want you to remember 3 W's this season. Wear your mask, watch your distance between people, and wash your hands. Washing your hands is detrimental. Not washing your hands is detrimental. So please wash your hands. Wash your hands, soap and water, best thing. I have a quick final thought. This is one of my favorite quotes. The quality of your life will never exceed the quality of your thoughts. So stay positive. Remember, feed the positivity and starve the negativity. I am going to come back for any questions. What are some ways to support family members to help them or the family unit become more positive during the holidays, especially if you're apart? This is a great question. I think the best thing to support other family members is to try and do video chats. I think seeing people, just talking on the phone is great, but I think when you actually see the people, it helps you stay closer, more connected, and more positive. A presenter I heard many years ago said, if you want to change your destiny, change your attitude. It is so true and similar. Yes, absolutely. If you want to change your destiny, you got to change your attitude. Like I said at the beginning, just changing your habits, it'll change your future. What is the best way to encourage hand washing without sounding like a germaphobe? That's a great question. I love the 3 W's, and that's what I say quite often. And it's just a quick little easy way to remind people. That's wash your hands, watch your distance, and wash your hands. So I think it's just kind of a cute little thing. And it actually makes them remember things. Even my son one night said, did you do the 3 W's today, Mom? And I said, I absolutely did. All right. I don't see any more questions. I want to thank you all for joining me this morning. I want you to have a safe and happy holiday. I want you to go out today and have an amazing day. Be positive, be kind to one another, and most importantly, be the light. Thank you very much.